Unsigned518. I'm here with Lucio Barbarino. How's it going, man?
It's going all right, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
cool.
thanks for coming out. And we just, we won't go into what we were talking about, but we just had a really fun conversation where we got to know each other.
System.
Yeah, we got to know each other on a level that usually conversations I don't have with people till I've known them for several years.
Right,
so
right. Yeah.
I guess that says a lot for you because we met about 8 minutes ago.
I'm one of those guys people open up to,
Yeah, and I just spilled my fucking guts. But anyway, we are not here to talk about the controversial shit that we were just discussing.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about music.
Yeah.
And you reached out to me. I can't remember, a couple weeks ago or whatever, and you were just like, hey, I'd like to come on the show. And I was saying before we got rolling is that I don't really do any research other than I looked at your socials.
You didn't look at my Wikipedia page?
I did not look at your Wikipedia. Fuck, I couldn't even pronounce your name correctly until like 40 seconds ago. But I want you to be able to tell your story with music or your story in general in an unbridled way where you're not answering specific questions that I'm giving. So I guess really just kind of start rattling off.
Start rattling off. Yeah, just cut me off or interject. However
go
you
for
want.
it.
Yeah. Music, isn't it great?
It is.
I
great.
love music. Yeah. I mean, as far as I can remember back, being a kid, I loved music and played violin was kind of like my first instrument in elementary school, like kind of begrudgingly on some level, But I loved music and they chose me. We did like one of those little. They used to do this. I don't know if they did it with you. They do like little tests. They'd test you on saxophone and violin or whatever, and they'd see if you had like a particular.
I don't remember if they tested. I think it was like they let us like kind of go around the room and fuck around with things on our own. Yeah, I chose drums when I was young.
Of course, but that's the thing. Everyone would choose drums. Or saxophone was cool.
But I was the asthmatic kid, so like saxophone would have been my first instrument, but I didn't have the fucking lung capacity. So wood or any air instruments were out for me.
Right. But so I played violin. But my dad, played guitar, and he was like in a band when he was younger. I don't know how serious they were. Actually, so my parents are from Sicily, so my dad was very dark hair, and all his friends were. But the name of his band was I Biondi, which means the blondes. It was just like a joke. I don't know. And so I don't know how serious they were. But my dad loved music. We had a lot of records growing up. My mom was into music too. And lots of records and stuff, like folky, American folky sort of stuff, a lot of Italian stuff. But so I played violin, and then my dad had the guitar always around. So, I was always like, I'm sure I was like plucking the guitar, like, when I was a kid, but not quite yet. I wouldn't say I was playing the guitar. I was just like messing around. But my older brother played guitar, and eventually I picked it up like more seriously, took a few lessons here and there. But pretty much just self-taught. I mean, I kind of took a few lessons later on when I was already, decent or whatever. But then I started playing guitar more seriously. I had a band in high school called Rubik's Grooves.
Nice.
Total high school band name. But that was it was like funky stuff. I was really into Dave Matthews in high school, and so I was pretty influenced by him. But we did mostly original songs that I wrote. But it was a 3-piece. It was cool.
And did you because I've said on the show before, certainly like the way you said, you picked it up, you plucked, you fucked around, you kind of like got it, and then you took some lessons.
Right.
I've always said that's the way to go.
That's a better way to do it.
Because starting almost starting like with the fundamentals can almost be a hindrance because you don't have that experimentation that you need. You need the experimentation. It's a good point.
It's more organic, that way, right?
So I like the you fumble, you are a foolish amateur, you start getting some chords, you start doing some stuff, your technique is fucking terrible, you're holding the guitar off, and then you learn some stuff, and then that tightens that up, but you already have the creativity and the experimentation.
Yeah, totally. It's like how you learn a language. You don't start taking language lessons when you're a kid. You just get immersed in it or whatever, and you find your own little like pathways of how you learn.
And plus the like the willingness to not to be good at something.
Yeah,
Like I've always like
totally,
you know, always had that. I've lacked that fear of being foolish looking. Like I would always be like, I'm gonna look like an idiot, but I'm gonna do it, and then eventually I'll get better at it.
Yeah. I kind of actually remember like the first song, quote unquote, I wrote on guitar. It was all open strings, and me and my younger brother still kind of joke about it once in a while, like, oh, that song I wrote was sick, man. But so yeah, Rubik's Grooves, and then went to college. I played bass in a band called Bottomless Salad. I went to Ithaca College. Okay. Bottomless Salad. Yeah, that was a fun band. I wouldn't call us a good band, but we were a fun band. We were like a fun band at parties and stuff like that. And then continued playing. I lived in New Jersey after college and did a few gigs here and there, but never really in a band. Wrote some music and recorded some early stuff. Moved to New York again. Still continue to do here and there little solo gigs, but nothing crazy. So really, I haven't been in a band since high school. College when I played bass, but I haven't been in a band singing and playing my own music since high school. Yeah.
And is that something that you want to like?
Yeah.
Want to like put
totally.
Together?
And actually, recently I've been putting out feelers. I placed a few ads, and yesterday I actually played with a bassist and a drummer. So. Yeah, and it went pretty well, I think, for a first time. It was cool. So,
and that's one of the things when I first started this podcast. Like, I really wanted to have that be a component of it. Like, if people need
connecting people.
If people need, and the Metroland, we're always like thinking of. New things that we could do, and one of the things that we were just talking about, and this is I mean, I guess I'm saying it for everybody to hear, but this is like unofficial and not like not being implemented yet, but it has been discussed. Is having like a classified section
in
that's just musicians looking for musicians,
and then do romance too while you're at it.
Dude. That's not who gives a shit about romance, but like I would love to have like something like that where you could be like, hey.
Totally.
This is what I do. These are my influences. This is kind of what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And I bet you those connections would happen
Definitely.
so fast, and it would fill in. Like, think of how many new fucking bands could be created right now if people just knew who to reach out to. And
I think it's a great idea. Like, especially in print, something in front of you, people are actually reading, taking the time. Like, there's so much noise on these Facebook groups and shit. It's like hard to get anyone's attention.
Yeah.
People don't want to click and listen to your music. Like, I don't know.
And even though, like, print is, I mean, they say dead. Like, they said that about vinyl. And
I know, right?
The excitement that people have shown for that physical newspaper, and we're going to put it out every month. Last Friday of every month, we'll have a physical edition. But people have been so psyched for it.
Yeah.
And I think it's that, there's something. Certain tangible but there's a certain, I don't want to say nobility, but I guess like kind of like if you're sitting at a bar and you're just looking at your phone, then you're just everybody. But if you're sitting at a bar and you've got a newspaper
you're more
open,
refined.
you're it's a different thing. And I mean, I guess that does sound like fucking stupid and elitist, but like I just I'm an old man. I think it's cool. I think the newspaper
and
is
it also
cool.
shows like a little more commitment. If you're a person who would place an ad, like it shows a little more commitment and you're more serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's slapdash, anyone can post on Facebook in 2 seconds or whatever. And,
and plus it's something that you see, like, and I'm a social media guy. Like that's what I do for a day job, and like that's what I do for Metroland, and like that's like my world that I live in. But like I like the tangibility because it's the same every time. Yeah. Like if you think about it, if you're on a social media or something and you're looking at like what's in front of you is going to change constantly. Even if you're going to the same location, you're going to see different ads constantly. Whereas this, it's the same thing. You're looking at the same thing. Yeah. It's going to be that absorption and like, well, there's my fucking I told you there'd be tangents. So I was like, well, there's my tangent.
Nah, that's cool.
Get your copy of Metroland.
Yeah, pick it up. It's hot off the press.
Hot off the presses. I have a copy if you want to take
a new one.
There's only one issue
okay.
out now. Yeah.
Oh, is that the first issue?
That's the first issue.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yep,
Wow.
Yep. Second issue's coming out day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, sweet. Oh, I already have it then. I have it at home.
Yeah, that's totally. Issue 1, man.
Cool,
for sure.
man. Yeah. That's how I found your name or whatever.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and got in touch. Yeah, totally. Yep.
See, it works.
Yeah.
You know? And now when you get a band together, I'll get you some band members. Then you can be like, it's all because of the newspaper.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, when going back to like when you were first writing songs, did you find like not having that outlet, like you said, you were mostly like you were like living your life and just like kind of playing and writing songs. Right. Do you find that's like a freeing, almost cathartic experience that just happens to put out good songs?
Wait, you mean like because I wasn't
planning on other people hearing, you're writing songs like for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I find that like writing songs that you're like nobody's ever gonna hear this.
Yeah.
It's almost like, oh wow, that actually ended up being really good because I didn't have the pressure of how is it going to be perceived.
I guess I do always have in the back of my mind how will this perceive. Like I want to show people. Yeah. So it's I don't really. Yeah. I write for myself totally. I mean, I would do it, and if I lived in a vacuum and no one else was ever going to hear it. But yeah, I do definitely want to share it, and I think it's always at least in the back of my mind. And also another thing is like a little bit of tangent for me is that I love music, and I do different types of music. Like I've recorded, I used to make hip hop beats. I've got like a bunch of hip hop albums out. I've done like film score sort of music. I've done like video game chiptune music.
Nice.
So that's been kind of a thing. In a way, I love it. It's great. It's me. I mean, of course, I love doing it. But in a way, I've been a little bit scattershot all over the place to not focusing on this, like songwriting, folk music, whatever I call it, singer-songwriter music. So yeah, that's been an aspect of my overall music career, I guess, that I've been all over the place, and most people wouldn't know that, I guess. But
I mean, I love diversity in music because it then shows like a passion for music.
Yeah,
like all kinds of music, and it is difficult, I think, to spread yourself across different genres, like because it's difficult to be in one genre, you know what I mean? To like put something out, but to like go outside of that, it's
and
a
then of
fucking
course
risk.
Inevitably it's gonna influence each other. Like me making hip hop beats might influence my folk rock music a tiny bit, like, or like definitely like the film score stuff. Like there's some strings on my newest album, The Blue Evenings, available on all your streaming platforms. Did you like that? My little advertising voice.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, so like there's a few songs that have like strings and are a little more, classic, not classical, but the strings are there in support of the,
Right. And
I love tasteful strings.
Is it digital
it's
or
all,
you?
No, it's all like MIDI based or whatever.
That's cool.
Although I do want to get a violin. I've been thinking.
I tried to play like when I was younger, in my like early 20s or whatever. I wanted to try new shit, and like I bought a violin once.
Did you?
And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play the violin, and I really put in like an effort.
Did you?
I really fucking tried.
Yeah.
And I could not.
No, nothing.
Like, oh my God. I was like, I don't know if I made one sound on that that sounded good. So I think we should play a song. Now I know you brought a guitar, so we could either like play something off one of the albums, or we could play something live. Which one do you want to do?
Yeah, like one of each, maybe.
We'll do one of each. Which one do you want to do first?
Well, I can do a song called Ramble. It's on. I'll do that one live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's on my new album, The Blue Evenings. It's kind of it's a song about two young lovers who just want to get away from it all, like parents telling them what to do and whatnot, and they kind of like want to just run away and see the world.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we'll give Lucio just a second to grab his guitar here, and we'll listen to Ramble, and then we'll be right back.
Follow me down to the river. There's a bridge that'll carry us over. And if we make it as far as Dover, and stay strong and find a safe place when we need some rest. We'll never go back to the old town. Wild horses couldn't drag us back. We're destined to ramble across the plain like a train on a railroad track. And we'll roll on and hold on. We won't have to go it alone. We'll stay strong before long. We'll find a place to call our own.
All right, that was Ramble. Lucio Barbarino here live in the Unsigned 518 quote-unquote studio.
Yeah.
It's my garage. Everybody knows it's my garage.
Is this the garage?
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, the doors right
garage
there.
door right there.
Yeah, no, I just make it. It's called the Dazzle Den because
It's pretty dazzling.
It's pretty dazzling. And again, I told you it's kind of stripped down because we had gigs, and normally there's a lot more instruments in here.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
And it's kind of ready to rock. But you can get in a Miss Pac-Man game before you go.
I might do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you definitely
my
should.
aunt and uncle used to have like the full size.
Oh, no way.
I'm not very good, but
I mean, I love that those things exist. Because even though it's not a full size, it's
totally.
Like, if 13-year-old me knew that that grown adult me would have a Miss Pac-Man machine, I'd be like, "You shut your mouth." So that one is on the album that is out currently.
Yep,
the most
Blue
recent
Evenings,
one. Yeah. So I guess tell me a little bit about that album.
So that album I put out at the beginning of 2023, and it's a mix of like some songs that I had, were just percolating sort of for a while, and it was actually. It's not like a breakup album, but there was a little romance that went south. I was living in Cape Cod at the time, and I just had a creative burst of inspiration sort of thing, and I recorded and played everything on the album in a month or two, and it was pretty much done, except one guy played banjo on one song, but it was so it's a mix of like. A little older songs, fun songs, upbeat, but then also, there's a little frustration, there's a little anger, little bits of anger maybe even on the album, but also, of hope and like humor. I kind of, I think it's sort of like a well-rounded album in that way.
Do you find that like, it sounds cliche, like writing is healing or whatever, but like I've personally experienced what you're saying, like have something that's like super painful that you're like, I'll never get over this shit. You write a song about it, then you're like, oh no, I'm fine.
Actually, it's funny. I have a lyric in one of my songs that said, I thought I might feel better if I wrote this song, but I was wrong. The song Anna. But actually, that song is older, but that's another story. But I mean, I don't know how, like, as a creative person or anybody, I don't know how you had to like do something with that, the pain or the whatever it is. It's got to come out one way or another. And if it doesn't, that's bad.
It's bad, and and it's bad not even just like in a like mental health way, but like it'll fuck with you physically. You know what I mean? Like that's why people have heart attacks and shit.
Indigestion, not sleep.
Stress is a real thing, and like and emotional pain can be real stress, and if you don't deal with it, like
it can fester and turn.
It can absolutely fester.
God knows whatever. Yeah.
So I'm always, I've always been someone like. I have zero problem expressing my emotions.
Yeah, right.
Like almost to
I'm picking that up.
Almost to a fault, But it makes me sleep at night because I'm like, I said
get it off your chest.
I said what I wanted to.
Right.
For better, for worse.
So that album I put out in beginning of 2023, I think, mid 2023. Anyway, and I'm really proud of it. I'm trying to get it out there. It's hard, as a solo just dude or whatever. I don't have like it's tough. Like you have a band, you have connections, and it like grows from there. It's like a family tree, like,
and it also takes a lot of the weight off you, and especially if you're in a band with like, people you can trust and people that are going in the same direction. It is just like a freeing, lifting feeling. Yeah,
definitely. And I'm like, and it's like a sensitive album. I'm a sensitive guy. It's, you know what I mean? It's not like this rah sort of music, you know what I mean? So it's not this sort of, I don't know. I'm kind of protective of it on some level, and not just like gonna be like, yeah, go listen to my, you know what I mean? So I'm in that way, I'm not like the best promoter of my own music even. So, yeah.
And do you think that comes from like, because I would feel kind of the same. Like, it's hard, like when you're writing songs, like this is shit that means something to me, and I'm putting it out there. And if someone either doesn't take it seriously, or if someone misinterprets it, or like that could hurt, so it's hard to be like, I want everybody to hear it, because you're like, I only want the people that are gonna understand, and especially like you said, come up from a place of sensitivity, which is not prevalent in a lot of dude music, you know what I mean? It's like everybody's trying to be the fucking toughest, and
totally.
So
I know it's an album that takes time, you know what I mean? Like, which I think a lot of the best music is not, you hear it the first time, it's like, oh my god, this song's awesome.
That's why,
there's a place for that, and so some of that music's great, but a lot of my favorite music is, it takes a few, repeated listens to really get the true.
And I love that you said that, because I even have gone on the record as saying that.
Yeah,
like, I do album reviews for Metroland.
Yeah,
and I write the review as I listen to it for the first time.
Oh,
because I'm like, if I listen to it more than once, it's going to completely change. So like, I sit down, I put the album on, and I write as I'm listening. You know what I mean? I'll stop and maybe rewind and be like, what was that line, or what was that, or.
Do you ever feel like, in retrospect, you gave an album a better review than you would have upon, or the opposite?
I will also like, and I mean, maybe this is not like true to like being like an honest, but I will never give a bad review. Yeah, like I will never. Yeah, I never.
Like even if
I fucking hate something, then I'm not gonna review it.
Yeah.
And if I like really don't like something, I'm gonna look at it from a different, you know what I mean?
Right,
like if it's a style of music that I am not familiar with or don't like, I'll try to look at it from a different angle, or I'll at the very least, just pick good things out of it.
To me, it's all about like, if this album is honest on some level, I'll find something to like on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, like, I'm reviewing local musicians, and like there was, like, I won't go into who it was, but there was a year or two ago where there was a local band that put on this performance at a place that was like, and there was a couple of technical issues, and someone had done a review on it and fucking shredded them.
Oh man,
like they were this big, huge touring act.
Damn.
And I like very publicly commented and was like, "How fucking dare you, dude?"
Something
I'm
out
like,
of their
"You
control,
are not." Yeah,
too,
I'm like, it was. There are people that are working 40 fucking hours a week, and then putting on this show on the side, and like, and I ripped into this dude. I was like, "How fucking dare you?" Like, this is not like some national, these are people these are your fucking neighbors, and like you shredded him, dickhead. And he ended up.
Yeah, I've had technical problems that were totally unexpected out of my, it sucks, and I beat myself up over it more than anyone else should probably.
But like, so I will never add to any kind of negativity to anything.
Throw
like
salt
that.
in the wound.
Yeah, because like that shit really upset. That that was years ago. And I'm still getting mad.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck that dude, man. Like it like really made me mad because I'm like, these are people that are
it's not
that
fair.
are doing this huge production, like, and not like they're not making like tons of money, and like. And he was like, amateurs bullshit. And I'm like, oof.
Probably he's looking at his time to be controversial and
I guess
in the spotlight or something.
But like in the local scene, like we need to support each
Watch
other.
each other's
we need
backs.
we need to lift each other up, and just like the old that, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't fucking say it. You know what I mean? Like, not every piece of art is for every person,
right?
And if you don't agree with it, like, you know, like I've seen on socials, like people, there's like memes, you know, like, oh, you know, that are busting on a certain style of music, or like somebody doing something that means something to them,
right.
And that shit pisses me off because you know, let people express themselves, and who the fuck are you to tell them that they can't?
Right. Yeah, for me, it always, again, it comes back to honest. Like, as long as this is coming from an honest place in that person, I can see the value. It might not be what vibes with me or whatever, but I can at least respect it.
It's their story and it's their narrative.
Yeah.
And it means something to them.
Right.
And if it doesn't mean anything to you, then move on.
Yeah,
You know,
like, there's plenty of other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now I'm like, now I'm all mad.
Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to put you in a bad mood.
No, it's good. Like, I'm just like, you know, just thinking about things like that sometimes makes me like, makes me upset. But anyway, I think we should hear a song off the album.
Right.
That's like, you know, we heard something live, but here's something produced. So what do you got for us?
Yeah. So this song is called Wasteland. I've been wanting to like make a music video. I feel like this could be like my radio hit, quote unquote, off this album. Yeah, it's catchy, and this one I wrote there, like on the spot directly. You know, it's really about the breakup with that person, and but yeah, it's got a good groove to it. It's got a little edge to it, and yeah.
All right, well, let's check out Wasteland, Lucio Barbarino, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
In a wasteland, down on my hands and knees, a crawling inch and it felt like a mile. Could you help me, please? Hope for something better on the other side of this wasteland. Ooh. Did my best, but it was never enough. Like a mirage in a distant plane, I went for broke and tried to be tough. Frustration I can't explain. I realize now that your love was just a wasteland of broken dreams. Should I go through it again? Try the well again and get a bucket of pain. Should I try digging for gold? I cry. Come out the mine with a bucket of cold black coal. Made promises till I was blue in the face, but it was all the same. You got a lot of growing up to do. It was just a game. I realize now that your love was just a wasteland. Ooh. Ooh.
All right, that was Wasteland, Lucio Barbarino. I'm pronouncing that correctly?
Lucio. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
you
it's
know,
close
I'm a unilingual dumb white guy from Vermont, so like that was close. It was,
it's close. That's better than a lot.
Pretty close.
I've heard.
I at least tried.
Yeah.
But you know, before you go, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day to come up here and do this.
You.
This has been really cool. Not only the conversations that we got on mic, but the conversations that we had when we weren't rolling.
Yeah, I've actually been recording secretly. I'm gonna put those out.
Man, I'm getting canceled. But thank you so much for doing this. And before we go, like I do with all my guests, I want to give you a chance to say your gratitudes, your shout outs, your highs, your whatever. Basically, microphone, all yours.
Really? Okay. Well, again, let me just say I'm Lucio Barbarino. The Blue Evenings is my newest album. There's another album from 10 years ago called The Past is Dust. Shout outs to Bianca, my friend in Troy. I've been playing the farmers market a couple times, so thank you to the farmers market.
Down in Troy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, a great little farmers market. Thank you to all the people in my life that have inspired me to make music, good or bad, good, negative or positive feelings. And thank you. Thanks for doing this, man. Yeah, this is really cool. Great little venue. Not actual venue, but a venue for local musicians to speak their mind and get their name out there, get their music out there.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so he is Lucio Barbarino.
Yes.
I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned518. I'll see you on the road. Unsigned518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you'd like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening, or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.